Good morning. Today is language. We're just reviewing when do you use a versus an. A, an, and the are articles. They're used as adjectives, so they're used to describe or just to help out the noun in your sentence. But we know, just remember, we talk a lot that has to do with sounds. And so we always use a by itself when the next word starts with a consonant. If the next word starts with a vowel, we have to use an. Otherwise, you get those two vowel sounds together, and it can cause confusion when we're speaking. So that's kind of how that came about. And they just spend they want us to practice with 6 groups of words here, whether we use a or an. So all we're going to do for number 1, it says happy smile. You're just going to look here. This starts with an H. H is a consonant, so we just use by itself. Wagon, same thing. Wagon starts with a W. W is a consonant, so it's just a. A happy smile, a wagon, or a. Okay, number 3, we have artist. Artist starts with a, which is a vowel, so we have to say an artist. Number 4, we have orange star. Orange is the next word. Even though star is the noun, orange is the next word, so we would say an orange. Okay, good job. And 5, we have blank, strange object. We want to do, right, S here, so it's a strange object. And last one is earache. Earache starts with an E, which is a vowel, so we have to say an earache, right? He had an earache after walking in the wind. Hopefully that's not something new for most of you. At least I feel pretty confident that you've heard of that before. But again, we need to just keep polishing those, dusting them off. They collect some dust. Now, the next section, you have a paragraph, and they want us to practice using all those proofreader marks. I'm going to have to come down just so you can see a little better here. They want us to use those proofreader marks to make corrections, to edit. We're practicing editing this paragraph. So they're missing capital letters, periods, commas, those types of things. So I want you to pause your video, and I want you to make all the corrections that you can find on this paragraph. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 corrections in this. So go ahead, pause your video, find those 6 mistakes, make the corrections, and then hit resume, and we'll go over the answers together. Okay, welcome back. We're going to go over the answers. There were 6 mistakes in this paragraph. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be an astronaut? Now, they meant it to read what it would be like to be an astronaut. They have a spelling mistake. So here you're going to put an SP, right? And you're going to then write the word like. Again, my marker's kind of big, so it's kind of hard there. We also are missing an in punctuation mark. Nice that they gave us a space. It kind of was a hint that something was missing there. So we have a missing question mark, in mark there. The word astronaut means space sailor. Men and women who are astronauts must go to college and learn about science and arithmetic. The third sentence there has 2 mistakes. Right? You probably remember, right? We have a spelling mistake here, right? This is wrong. Woman, the plural form is women, so that we don't add an S there. So that's a mistake. And notice that we also had a double word. And that happens sometimes when we're writing and typing. We get interrupted and we duplicate a word. We write it twice and we didn't mean to. We don't even see it sometimes because we know what we meant to say. So again, just do that little delete mark to say, oh, we don't need that there. And then the next sentence says, some astronauts have been jet pilots and some have been science teachers. Okay. One little mistake here, they forgot the capital S, the beginning of that sentence. That's the only thing. And we have one more mistake to find. If you love science and arithmetic and adventure, maybe being an astronaut would be good for you. This was just, they actually had a capital letter where it didn't belong. Did you find it? Right here. So they just put an LC because that capital L in love, it should be lowercase. It doesn't need to be capitalized. That's the only mistake in that last part. If you need to pause it to fix it, if not, and you miss something, change it. No big deal. We're just working on getting better. The more we do this, the easier it's going to be. Now, at the bottom here, we are putting things together with our nouns and adjectives. We're not finding subjects and verbs here. We're just trying to find nouns and then all the words that describe it, the adjectives. And today we added the articles to that. Our previous video, I went ahead and did it because I'm just in the habit of it and it helps me. So today it will be a lot easier, I think. So in number 1, what we're going to do is we're going to try to find the nouns. Carlos watched the green and yellow parachute in the sky. This sentence has 3 nouns. I want you to underline the 3 nouns. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. So do that right now. Underline the 3 nouns. You should have underlined Carlos, parachute, and sky. Sorry, this has fallen off here. All right. Are there any nouns? Now in English, because it's not a question, this is a telling sentence. In English language, our adjectives almost always, and I say almost always, come directly before the noun. Okay, not after. Unless we're using a verb like am, is, are, was, were. Some of those, the adjectives will come after. But typically in a sentence, we use the adjectives right before. Carlos is the first word of the sentence. There are no adjectives describing Carlos. So we're just going to leave that one alone. Let's go to the next noun. The next noun is parachute. Are there any words that describe parachute? Yeah, there's several. We learned, that articles, a, an, and the are adjectives, but we also have a couple color words that describe our parachute. Now here we just draw, remember, an arrow, and they can all kind of connect, and they point towards parachute because that's what they're describing. And the last word is sky. The only word we have describing sky is the article the. So we circle it and draw an arrow pointing to sky. Let's do number 2 together, and then I'm going to have you finish these on your own and then check your answers. In number 2, you need to find 4 nouns. Mrs. Martin asked, "Why is your little brother wearing his snow boots in the house?" So in this sentence, we have a direct quotation. Our first noun is Mrs. Martin. Our next one is brother, boots, and house. Are there any adjectives describing Mrs. Martin? No. Again, first word of the sentence, there's nothing there. Okay, good job. Let's go to the next one, brother. Do you see any words that describe brother? Well, there are 2. Which ones? Right? We have your, which tells me whose brother, and then it tells me some description of, right, which one. It's the little brother, not the older brother or the bigger brother, but the little brother. And that was all for that one. We come down to boots. What kind of boots? Snow boots. And whose boots are they? His. So again, his and snow describe boots. And house, we only have the article the. So we're really making lots of marks on our papers, but that's okay. It's helping us get better at our sentences. So again, I'm going to have you pause the video. I want you to do the next 3 sentences on your own, finding your nouns. Okay, number 3, there are 4 nouns. Number 4 has 3 nouns. And number 5 has 3 nouns. So you'll underline those nouns and then search for adjectives and circle them. Okay, go ahead, pause the video. I'll see you back in just a couple minutes. Okay, so you've already done 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Let's check your answers and see how you did. In number 3, we had 4 nouns: Elizabeth, mom, room, and paint. Now, since you've already done these, I'm going to go a little faster. Elizabeth and mom, there are no adjectives describing them, so we're just going to leave them alone. What about room? Right, you should have circled Elizabeth. That possessive adjective tells me whose room. And blue tells me, right, describes what color of paint. So it's giving me some more details. All right, if you missed something, erase, fix it, add it, whatever you need to do. Number 4 says, an owl has been sitting in the tall tree all day. We had 3 nouns in this sentence. We have the word owl, the noun owl, and we have tree and day. Owl, we just have the article an, so we circle that. Then we have tree. We have a couple words describing tree. We have the article the and the word tall. So the tall tree. And how long, how much of the day? Well, all day. So all is an adjective describing day. So again, lots of marks. One more. We can do this. We've got it. Leo used Grandpa's old telescope to find many bright stars. This sentence has 3 nouns. We have our subject, which is Leo. We have the noun telescope and the noun stars. Again, Leo's the first word of the sentence. There's no words describing Leo, so we just underline it, leave it alone. We come to the next noun, which is telescope. Do we have any words describing telescope? Yeah. Whose is it? It's Grandpa's. And kind of what kind. It's an old one, right? It's telling me some more information. So again, got my little arrows pointing to telescope. The last noun is stars. Well, how many? What kind? Well, many stars, and they're bright stars. So those 2 words describe the stars to us. I hope this is getting easier finding adjectives. This is something we're just going to keep working on, getting better at finding those, combining it with our subjects and verbs. So hang in there. You can do this. It's going to help us write just more interesting sentences. Don't forget this week, you're finishing up your chocolate story. For your free writing, you are to write a story and somehow use chocolate in it. I don't know. Have fun with that. I can't wait to read them. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.